Hello everyone, I just want to go ahead and do my update for the week. So there's a couple of different projects that I'm working on that I mentioned in my last video, and that is my polyamorous romance, my children's book, my painting progress, and my Etsy shop. I don't know if I mentioned my Etsy shop last time, but I am going to try to start restocking stuff in my Etsy shop as well. So I just want to do an update on like where I am as far as my goals and plotting out my goals and that kind of thing. So the first thing I want to talk about is my novel. So I've written a graphic novel, and I did it in pieces. So I did it in like 14-page, 16-page episodes. And it taught me a lot about story structure and that kind of thing. And I feel like I need to do the same thing with my novel. So basically, we're talking about the difference between a novel and a serial. I've got my notes up here, so I'm looking at those as I'm talking to you. I have a hard time wrapping my brain around the idea of a novel because it's just such a long form of storytelling from start to finish. It's just such a long way to go, and I can't think that far ahead. I'm not a very visual person, so the plotting tools that I see other people using, they're not helping me. Mapping things out, that kind of thing, it's not helping. So I got to do something else. There's so many love interests in the book, because when you deal with a polyamorous romance, it's not boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl in the end. It's boy meets girl, boy meets another girl, boy is in relationship with first girl or second girl, having X problems with first girl, meets the third girl. Third girl's great. Does third girl mesh up with what he's already got going on with second girl? Does first girl come back in the picture later on? Those kinds of things. So it's a little bit more drawn out than your typical, 3-act structure setup that you would normally see. I think it's a completely valid story to tell. I haven't seen it told yet. I've been looking for polyamorous romances that I can read that I would, be able to say, okay, yeah, this is something I can do, or, this is what it should look like, but I haven't found any yet. I've been reading some LGBTQ romances, and those offer a different point of view to how, like, girl meets girl or boy meets boy, and how those romances look, because they do look different. They have a different feel about them. And writing those is a little different. So I'm writing about a bisexual character. So there's going to be a little bit of heterosexual romances and homosexual romances. And learning how to write those is helpful when I'm reading. But how to navigate a polyamorous romance in the 3-act structure, I don't think it's fitting. Like, my writing style isn't fitting. The way I plot isn't fitting. It's all just not fitting. So I have to do something about that. So how many parts it's going to be in, I'm not really sure. I'm thinking probably 4 to 6 parts. Right now I'm leaning more towards 6 parts. Because that's how many I have drafted so far. I've drafted 24,000 words in this story from start to finish. So it's a synopsis right now. So I don't know how long it's going to be in the end. But I have a very good idea of where it starts, where it finishes, and kind of what happens in the middle. So 4 to 6 episodes is sounding good, leaning more towards 6. So that's where I am with that. I just had that epiphany over the past couple of days. So I'm going to change. I'm going to stop how I was doing my rewrite. I'm going to stop and reassess and go in a completely different direction. And hopefully I'm going to have more success and actually be able to finish the story. If I never actually write a real proper novel, like one story, start to finish, 3 acts, blah, blah, blah. If I never actually do that, I feel like that will be a sadness. But at the same time, I just want to get the stories out there. I have them sitting in my head, and they're good stories. I enjoy them. I enjoy having them in my head. I'd like to enjoy having them outside in the real world so that, people can experience them. My children's book. So the children's book is, it's a difficult project because I'm having trouble embracing the suck. So the suck is allowing myself to not be as good as I think I am. I'm afraid to make the illustrations. I know what I want them to look like in my head, but I'm afraid to make them. I'm afraid that my art skills aren't enough. When the truth is that they are enough, because you can utilize your skills to the best of your ability and make a book that is mostly very good. Mostly good enough, because it's for children, and children are the most unpicky people in the world. The art can always be better, but with digital art these days, it's possible to fix the art if it's needed. I'm going to color everything by hand, but I can fix the art in Krita if I need to. So I have the option of making the art suck less, right? So if it does suck, it's okay. I can make it suck less. I can also redraw anything that I draw incorrectly. Currently, as of today that I'm filming this, I have 5 illustrations completed and outlined. And they're almost exactly how I want them. They're really cute. They're great. So who's to say that the rest of the art that I'm going to make isn't going to be great or as good? I'm scanning them all in digitally so that I have the option to color them digitally or to color them by hand. Or if I color them by hand, I can reprint the image on watercolor paper so I can recolor it if I mess it up for some reason. So why do I have all this hesitation? I don't know. I really need to work on my fear regarding this. Like, embrace the fact that I will make illustrations that suck, and there's got to be like 32 illustrations in total, and I've done 5 so far, so that's progress, and my progress has been positive. It's been good, so I need to embrace that, and also embrace the fact that I might suck, and that's okay. It's okay. All right. The next thing that I'm working on is painting. So that's one of my major goals this year is to do a lot more painting. I'm painting a mermaid, and I'm going to see if I can show her on screen. Let me go grab her. So unfortunately, she's not fully detailed yet. Here she is. And I have a lot of reworking I have to do. Here's the bottom of her. And, well, there's a lot to say about this because I think I finally have the direction I want to go in with her. But the problem is, it's not a cohesive whole. So my notes on this is there are several things about the piece that won't go together, such as the coral being in freshwater with the kind of fish that I want to paint, which are freshwater fish. But I don't think that really matters much, because I don't think anybody's going to really debate about it in the end. If they notice that the coral and the fish don't belong in the same habitat, I don't think anybody's going to say anything. 3 years from now, it's going to be old art, and I'll be off creating other things anyway. And as a self-taught artist, I try to keep a certain childlike lack of giving any fucks about my art. And I know that the sun isn't green, but if I felt like it was green on a particular day, I could paint it green and it would be okay. It's my world that I'm creating. I do try to advance my art skills as much as possible, but at the end of the day, I want to sit down and create the kind of art that brings me joy. No one is trying to buy my pieces, and I'm not trying to sell them to anybody. So marketability just isn't a factor. I'm completely free to create whatever the hell I want to. So why not put freshwater fish and ocean corals in the same picture with a mermaid that doesn't exist anyway? And in a world where there are mermaids, there could be a set of corals, like the creatures that I'm going to create, next to fish, like the ones that I'm going to paint, and they could all actually be in the same world together. So in my mind, this is how I'm going to proceed. I do want to have a more extensive background for her. Hopefully in the next video I'll be able to show kind of my updated pictures of how I go about creating that background for her. And hopefully it turns into something interesting, something that people want to look at. Alright, last thing that I'm updating on is my Etsy shop. I did update it and put a couple things in the shop, and I can show you those. So my notes on the shop is there if I happen to create something that I feel has some marketability. By accident, because I'm not out there painting things on purpose to sell them. It's just if I paint something and I'm like, oh, this has some marketability, I can put it on my Etsy shop and let it go. I don't want to just stash art. If I can sell something, I will, but that's not the end goal. It's just I've been making these cute little paintings, and I thought maybe I could share them. They're not even completed yet. I just posted them in their current state, and if I feel like going back and like touching them up, I'll take new photos and post them, and I won't change the price or anything. It's just, it is what it is. So the first one is an old painting that I put up there. It's of like just a mermaid's portrait, and she's just got long flowing hair, and the only thing that gives away that she's really a mermaid is the flow of her hair, and her ear is like a little different, but it's just a mermaid portrait, and it's just really cute. So there's that. It's in the shop, and there's my little cupcake, and you can't see the sprinkles. There you go. You can see the sprinkles on the cupcake, but it's got really fat icing and a little skinny cupcake. I thought it looked cute. And there, again, more details I could possibly put on this. I just had this idea in my head, so I painted it, and I thought this is really cute. Let me put it in the shop and see if somebody's interested. I can make art prints or stickers or something like that based on this, and I think that would be really cute. But stickers are not cost effective right now, but they could be in the future. So it's just a design I made, and it's out there if somebody wants it. Again, with my drippy cake, again, it's out there if somebody wants it. It's not the greatest piece of art, but it's just some art that I thought was fun that somebody else might enjoy too. So I put it in my shop, and so it's there if, you know, if somebody wants it. I want to paint some, you know, ice cream and fruit and that kind of thing. Maybe put faces on them, make them really adorable, and people can put them in their children's rooms or stuff like that. And it's not like high dollar items, but it's just there if somebody sees it on Etsy and thinks it might be fun for them to have. So that's where I am with my project so far. With my novel, I've got a new direction. We're going to start working on it this week, and I'll have an update next Thursday on how that went. And then as far as my children's book, I'm going to try to get, you know, 2 or 3 more illustrations done in the upcoming week. If I do more than that, fantastic, but I'm not going to pressure myself too much. I do have a lot of anxiety when it comes to that book, so I'm going to try to, you know, give myself a little bit of grace. As far as my painting is concerned, I'm going to go ham on this mermaid illustration and see what I can do to really advance that forward. And I'll show you some of my inspirational photos and the progress photos as well in my next video. And that one will probably be taken on my phone, so it's going to be wonky, and it's not going to be this picture frame situation that's happening right now. I'm still learning how to use cameras, and I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. So we'll figure that out. But yeah, that's where I am. If anything catches your eye, you've got questions, ask. This is my accountability to myself to keep myself moving forward as being self-employed right now, trying to get better at my art, produce some products that I'm proud of, and maybe at some point it will become profitable. Do what you love and the money will follow. I'm doing that. I'm doing what I love, and maybe the money will follow, maybe it won't. I have a money bowl that I started this year, and it's a spell, you know, a witchy sort of thing. to bring money into your life. And I don't know very much about witchy things in general. I know some things, that I've picked up over the years. This is the first time I've done one. I've heard about it for a lot of years, but I will probably do a video about that, about what I put in my money bowl. It's probably a little different than what other people put in theirs, but also what I think about the philosophy of woo and witchcraft and those kinds of things and why they work. I have some philosophies on why it does work and how you can make it work for yourself. So I'll probably do a video on that as well. So until then, see you later.